Welcome back, everybody. We are the Honolulu Blues Show. It is a Monday. Yes, coming at you on a Monday. A little surprise. But we want to recap this game while it's fresh in our minds, while we're still angry about it, while we're still thinking about it. Well, we just want to get to it. So I got Julius and Nick as always. Nick, I like the bright colors you got going. You the tie-dye looking shirt. You got the bright blue hat. Nice, very blue today. It fits the Honolulu Blues.
I do my best. I do. It's no need for somber today. We're not at a funeral. We don't need to, be crying. It's a bright day. It's a good live.
Last year when we got an awful game-winning or game-losing break in which DeAndre Swift dropped the touchdown pass, that blessed us a penne azul. So hindsight 2020, this could be something good for us, but who knows? Julius, what is going on, my man? How are you doing out in Texas? What's new?
Well, I'm still hungover from it. All right. I'm going to go ahead early on. I'm going to have to disagree with Nick on how this is not a somber episode in any fashion. There is a little bit of somberty involved, and it's because what happened yesterday was, it was just like the culmination. Let's just say I hope that that's the SOL peak that what happened to the Lions yesterday. And from here on out, it's less of it in our lives because it sucks to lose like that, and losing like that negatively affects a lot of fans anywhere from 24 hours to a week after the game on a mental health level. So if any Detroit Lions, anybody in the organization listening, I just want to say, try to do that less. But yeah, I'm ready to rock.
Yeah, man, it is Bears week. We are ready to destroy Justin Fields. They had like 50 yards of offense the entire game, so they're looking as trash as usual. We already have Bears fans bowing down saying, "Oh, we're probably going to lose this game, so don't go crazy when you guys win and upset us." It's like, oh, no. We're going to go take our big old victory laps when we stomp you guys, when Michael Brockers, when Okora, when all the boys, the dogs, get to Justin Fields, sack him more than Myles Garrett, more than the Browns did on Sunday, and we just rattle them all in all. But,
dude, I have seen the biggest scapegoats already by Bears fans on Twitter already from Tuesday, and they're just like, I hope you guys win so that we can fire Nagy. We need to have changes, so you should win. And I'm like, bro, don't give me that freaking scapegoat and be like, well, I wanted you to win anyway. I'm not mad that we lost when the Bears lose. Like, I don't buy it. I don't like it. The Lions are going to go in there, dominate, whoop some ass, and I'm gonna make fun of some people. That's
Listen, real quick though, I'm getting a large contingent of Bears fans that are using this game as an opportunity to truly believe in their hearts that this is the start of Justin Fields' Hall of Fame career. When he plays the Detroit Lions next week in week 4, it might not even be Justin Fields. It might be Andy Dalton. But they are sold on the fact that they're playing the Lions. It's giving them hope.
It might be Nick Foles. Did you hear what they said? They said Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, or Justin Fields could start. Matt Nagy has not.
I'm pretty sure Matt Nagy has said that Rex Grossman might start this game. There's a chance they're bringing Sexy Rexy back. I don't know what's going on in Chicago.
Hey, I heard Jay Cutler just got a Twitter, so
bring Cutler back.
You never know.
I'm all in.
But nonetheless, it's going to be a fun week, and not to mention, we are likely going to have a little friendly wager with our boys at the Windy City Productions over there. You guys can give them a follow if you're Bears fans watching the show. But they're at DWCPRODZ at Twitter. And
what the heck was that?
They got an interesting Twitter, yeah. But nonetheless, we're gonna get something spicy going with them because we've had quite a bit of banter with them throughout the season, and they are very high in Justin Fields, and we are not. So it's going to be a fun one. But the thing that shocked me the most about not just this game, not just the fact that I didn't even realize that there should have been a penalty called. I just thought we had horrible luck until I literally looked. I had Twitter tell me that there should have been a penalty called. Of course, I should have known that. But the crazy part that shocked me the most was my dad always tells me this all the time that, Tom Dempsey. I remember I was watching at my aunt's house. I forget what game it was, but he had like half a toe and just like booted a 63-yarder game winner. And he would always tell me about that. And so sure enough, my dad was like, oh, reliving history. Yeah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that's exactly right. That was the longest one in NFL history. So sure enough, I go look it up. And not only was it a walk-off kick and the longest kick in NFL history at the time, it was to win the game 19-17. The same exact score as what just happened. And I was like, oh my gosh, history repeats itself. The Lions will always be the Lions. Yep, Saints 1970. Good call, Dad.
that one. So I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct, I'm not 100% positive, but I don't think he had any toes. And I believe there was like a steel plate implemented in his foot. And like, this should be an asterisk next to that. Like, I don't know per se if that's, should be allowed, but Tucker does not have a steel plate. I'm pretty sure he has 10 toes. And that dude booted a 66-yard field goal to hit the crossbar to give us all hope for one split second. And then you just see it hit the net. And
listen, Justin Tucker is lucky. He is lucky because from that distance, from 60 yards or more in NFL history, I saw this stat, guys. From 60 yards or more, anytime that the ball had hit the crossbar, it bounced backwards 100% of the time. That is the first kick attempted from 60 plus yards to hit the crossbar and go in.
Dude,
he's lucky. Justin Tucker is lucky. The Lions are unlucky.
I feel like, has everyone here seen the movie Angels in the Outfield, right? We've all seen that movie. And where the Angels, they help the angels from above help the Los Angeles Angels, the Anaheim Angels, get to the championship and win it. Matthew McConaughey running center point at center field, a great movie. If you've never seen it, I recommend it. I feel like we have the anti-Angels in the Outfield. We have like the demons from Detroit who like do like everything they can just to they blew on the ball. We can't see it, but the demons were the one that blew on the ball to make it go that way. The demons do all this. I'm telling you, boys, there needs be a movie called The Demons of Detroit, and it's just all about the Detroit Lions mishaps.
I hope you're wrong. I hope that's not really a thing. Demons in the end zone, please.
Demons.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the crazier part is it's like we can be playing any other team in any other era, essentially, and we win this game. But this is Justin Tucker, probably the greatest kicker of all time, who has the leg. We've seen him in clips and practice hit the 80-yarders and the 70-yarders, but no one ever does that in game. So in game, obviously, it's way, way, way tougher. And a 66-yarder, it topped Prater's record too, which sucks. So now Prater doesn't have the record anymore. It goes to Justin Tucker. I mean, at least the field goal happened in Ford Field. That means anything.
I don't know. No, not at least that.
That record might never be broken.
That killed every fan that was there. Every fan is not buying tickets to the next season.
It killed every fan watching it.
It killed every fan.
That's exactly right, Julius. Just how the ball, they're supposed to bounce backward when it's that far away, and his landed flat, smack dab right on the top of the crossbar and just went right over and back. Just so bizarre, man. Why couldn't we have a double doink like Cody Parkey or something like that?
A fraction of an inch lower, and the ball would have went the other way. That's how crazy it is. And it's almost like a movie needs to be made, documentary or something, about the Lions' unluckiness.
Yeah.
This shit happens all the time. And this is, like I said, this better be peak. This gotta be peak.
And there is a documentary made about it, but it's on Amazon Prime.
Yeah,
I don't really recommend it, though. I don't recommend it. It's not that good. We need to do one. We figure it out. We'll get a good documentary out.
It's a story, bro. It's a story.
I do feel though that fate was on their side, as in, say that false start would have happened. I mean, I don't know. Lamar can chuck that ball. Would you guys rather lose on a Hail Mary touchdown at that point or a field goal like Justin Tucker? I almost would rather lose on that unbelievable kick and be like, well, but if we would have lost on another Hail Mary, I'd have been so mad. I'd have been sad. I'd have been more sad than I am. That like
I would have been more mad than sad.
I'd have been way mad.
This kick made me sad. It sucked the soul out of my body because I did not expect it.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna miss. I swear to God, I thought he was gonna miss. I thought he was short until it bounced in.
I've been talking some mad shit to Woodward Sports all week, so don't ever expect us to be involved with them at all. But if you guys did see, they had an awesome reaction to the game, and it was Lions fans to a T. One didn't think Tucker had a chance, and one guaranteed it was going to go in. The guy who guaranteed it laughed because he just knew it was coming. The guy who didn't think it was going to go in died inside. It was exactly like watching it. Like that was I had a bipolar personality right at that time. Half of me knowing that we were losing this game somehow, some way, and then the other half just being like, but it's never been done. No one's ever kicked 66 yards. There's no physical possibility that he can do it. And then I was like, yeah, wait.
We're the Lions.
He missed from 65 in warmups.
He did
by
a
lot. By a lot.
He did
they showed the video
to get more emphasis on it. I don't know.
He did though. That's what they said, that he took an extra little hop.
Took that curl.
And it just happened to be dead center.
Dead center.
If he was outdoors, it would have went left or right easy. But
I don't know where we're going with this show exactly, but I'm gonna just transition.
It's explaining the feeling behind such a moment.
Exactly, and I want to transition that into what Jared Goff said. Did we see that? He's like, "This is the biggest gut punch I've ever seen, been a part of." And for us, it's like, it doesn't even crack the top 15 losses in Detroit. I mean, it's just another old Sunday.
That was a welcome to Detroit, Jared Goff. This is. You want to be our franchise quarterback? Come on. But, oh, man, we will likely talk about the kick a little bit more once we start wrapping up the game. But there were some good things about this game. You know, the beginning was a little rough. The second half was pretty good. So let's go quarter by quarter, talk about this game. First quarter, it was looked kind of good. We had that first drive, which I want to say did we get a couple first downs? I think we got at least one, and then we kind of stalled out. But then Jack Fox, of course, dropped a dime of a punt down to the 2-yard line, and we held the Ravens to go 3 and out. So first quarter, what were some of your guys' thoughts? Did you think we had any momentum going, or were you expecting a dull first quarter as usual?
Julius, you got that?
Well, in the first quarter, pretty much, it looked like we were going to get beat. That's what it looked like early on. It just looked like we were overmatched. Actually, in the first quarter, it ended 0-0, I believe. Yeah. Matter of fact, I remember at the end of the first half thinking it could be way worse than this. We only down 10-0. And I think a large part of that was the defense. And a large part of the reason we should have won this game was our defense, not our offense. Even though I'm going to give credit to DeAndre Swift, as far as the first quarter and the first half goes, I mean, DeAndre Swift, he only had 7 touches. It was more of Jared Goff just being uncomfortable in the pocket, not getting anything moving. We had 5 punts in a row, 4 punts in a row. The first quarter, there was no offense. We had 2 yards. We looked like the Bears looked this past week. I think they had 2 net passing yards or something. We did too in the first couple quarters. And I think that was a big reason why we were losing. But our defense was keeping us in the game early on. Our secondary, played very well. Bobby Price, A.J. Parker, even though later in the game he had some gaffes. Even Will Harris was making a couple plays. I even think we had a coverage sack there in the second quarter. Amani Oruwariye, they played well, in my opinion. The pass rush played well. They really turned it up in the second half, but you could see spurts of it in the first half of Lamar Jackson being cornered on our outer edges. He took off for that one big run, but that was about it. So, yeah. In the beginning part of the game, I was pleased, and that pleased. I remember, like I said, the offense, yeah, but 10-0, I would have took any day of the week. If you'd have told me before the game it would be 10-0 at halftime, I would have took that.
Absolutely. I mean, you look at the first quarter specifically at 0-0, you can't really ask for much better. But we played a Baltimore Ravens defense that how many people were they missing for COVID? Like five players were out for COVID. They've already lost like 3 cornerbacks for ACL injuries. Like this whole team was depleted. And that's one of the reasons why I think we hung in this game, along with a few other things that we'll get to. But ultimately 0-0. Now our offense did not look good against the defense that was basically a second string defense out there, which gives me absolutely no confidence going into the next few weeks with our offense. I said this last week. I blamed 100% of our loss last week in a 35-17 loss. I blamed 100% of that on our offense, not our defense. You were going to give up 35 points to Aaron Rodgers. I said that last week. This week only proved it. Jared Goff can't go out there, at least the first half, prove that. Like, our offense is terrible because Jared Goff doesn't have confidence. We saw wide open TJ Hawkinson. We saw wide open players that Jared Goff did not look to, especially early in the first quarter, first half. It was embarrassing to watch on the offensive side. However, man, when Lamar Jackson doesn't score 10 points in the first quarter, it's a good day. When Lamar Jackson doesn't score 24 points in the first half, it's a good day. So I have no problems with the way our defense handled itself in the first quarter. We went out 0-0. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah, and like you said, Nick, it was the offense, honestly. If you look at every NFL game this week, anyone that held their opponent under 25 points, and that's every team, essentially, the team that held them under 25 points won. The Lions held their team under 25 points, and they lost. So, actually, no, I'm sorry. The Falcons, the Giants allowed them 17 points, but that is it. So, offense, all we needed was 3 more points, and that game's locked up, easy to go. They don't even have a chance to get, a field goal. It's a Hail Mary, essentially. So, it was tough, but I think the offense was the problem. Goff, he has shown some, potential, but mainly it's just been the check down man, and he's kind of just allowed his guys to get in space. Hawkinson, Khalif Raymond, Swift even, and they make the plays. So I guess it's kind of working to an extent, but I want to see a full Goff, because it's almost like we have only gotten a half of him, as in, the first half or the second half, he doesn't really play well, or, the first quarter and the fourth quarter, he plays well, or the second quarter, and third quarter, vice versa. So Jared Goff, I think he does need to step up. We got shut out this first half. It was 10-0 going into the third quarter. I'm just looking at our each play-by-play. The one crazy part was Justin Tucker missed a field goal early in the first quarter. So we did have some momentum, some juice going.
We built our hopes up a little bit more when it came down to the last kick.
Yeah.
Oh, remember he missed a kick earlier. Maybe he'll miss this one.
And so it really wasn't until late in the second quarter, like 5 minutes to go, when the Ravens finally scored a touchdown. And honestly, a lot of people say, oh, the Lions should have got smoked. Hollywood Brown dropped 2 touchdowns. But, little things like that happen in games. And that just so happens that those 2 drops were our little, luck of the table in which we could have made something happen. But
that's
all
true.
in all,
that's true to a degree. Marquise Brown makes 1 or 2 of those catches. We're chasing the whole game. It's honestly, we probably shouldn't have been in this game because of Hollywood Brown. Hollywood Brown makes those catches. This game is a blowout. It's a whole different narrative. It's a whole different complaining aspect. But you're right. We got that was our luck, just like the Ravens had their luck on their side. That you're 100% right. But ultimately, if Marquise, our secondary, which didn't play terribly, got handed 3-4 huge gifts, like IMAX for Christmas. You know what I mean? They're not even what am I saying? They got freaking houses for Christmas, because Marquise Brown, I don't know how you drop the balls that he dropped. All 3 of us could go out there and make those catches. I don't know how he did that. He's getting paid the big bucks. He's got to be able to make those catches. But you're right. We did get our luck. That was our luck. We just didn't capitalize.
Yeah. So, and then here, a little segment we'll do. I asked some fans, what's one thing you guys noticed about the game? And I knew everyone's gonna come flooding the comments with, "We lost the game, the refs, this, that, this, that." So I said one good thing. So here's some of the comments. The defense was in Lamar's grill all day long. Collins Flowers were not missed. Two of the Lions' biggest contracts were not missed, so that's good. I will say that, Lions halftime adjustments have looked good. Last regime could not make them, and it looks like both sides of the ball made the necessary adjustments to be competitive. Honestly, Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift have been a phenomenal 1-2 punch. And one thing that I've taken away is, honestly, I think our coaching has been pretty good in a sense that we've faced three legit, Super Bowl contending teams, might I say, at least playoff teams, and they've been one score loss, and I should say the Packers, because second half, but we competed that first half, had a 17-14 lead. If it was a sunny day, we win that game, but rain came down, it didn't go our way, and so that was that. But
you know what's crazy real quick about that though? The wide receivers and the cornerbacks are like preschool level, right? We could have got blown out by the Ravens. I mean, we did kind of get blown out by the Packers, even though we had it competitive for a half. And we damn near came back and beat the Niners with preschool receiving core and preschool secondary decimated by injuries, starting a bunch of rookies. And we're sticking in these games. These are games we're supposed to win. So I think you're exactly right. You get a credit to the coaches.
Exactly. The Lions we don't lose games being outcoached anymore. I mean, at least for now. We haven't seen Dan Campbell get, just Belichicked, where he makes all these little ticky-tacky mistakes that end up being huge. He's coached, exceptionally for now. So I will say that Matt Patricia last year, there were some games in which he just got outcoached, and it wasn't the talent on the team. And I think as of right now, it's the talent that's losing those games.
Also, shout out to all the play callers, because Dan Campbell is not calling plays on offense or defense. So anyone who is like, Dan Campbell should have sent more than 4 on that 4th and 19. Dan Campbell should have let Jared Goff throw on this ball. Dan Campbell should have called a run on 4th and 1 last week rather than a pass. Dan Campbell's not making that call. Dan Campbell is trusting Anthony Lynn and Aaron Glenn. So first off, nip that in the bud. However, I'm going to play devil's advocate to what you just said for one play, and that is a 4th and 19 with, I believe, 10 seconds to go, where Lamar Jackson got a huge pass. I'm not mad about the prevent defense, and I'm not even extremely mad about this, but the biggest thing was it was 3rd and 10. And you sack Lamar Jackson on his, I believe, 8-yard line, something of that nature, very close, or maybe like 20-yard line, something like that. And then you call a timeout, which Dan Campbell did do. And what did that do? That allowed the Ravens to get a play set up, designed, ran, and completed. While the Lions, who got rested players into the game, weren't able to catch up. And now this happens. This is what teams do. It seems like the odds are you let the opponent go out and set up a formation. You see that formation, you call a timeout, you adjust, and you put in what you think the best formation will be to stop that, thinking that they rerun the same play. And if that's the case, great. But when it's 3rd and 10, and you sack them to make it 4th and 19 with, I believe, 10 or 11 seconds to go, you do not call a timeout and allow them to reset. You let that 4th and 19 happen, especially when your defense has been getting after Lamar, especially when your defense had been getting after Lamar the last 2 drives of the game. It's that last drive particularly, those last 4 plays. Then you double that down with Aaron Glenn stopping blitzing on the last play and just putting everyone back and allowing him to find the hole, allowing Lamar Jackson to buy time, which no defender, no cornerback, and Aaron Glenn should know this, can cover a receiver longer than like 5 seconds at most. At that point, that wide receiver is gone, and you're chasing, you're tailing now. Terrible coaching, terrible coaching maneuver by Dan Campbell to call that timeout. And I'm not afraid to say that. And I'm also not calling for his head. I am not calling for him to be fired by any means. But he needs to know, or at least my opinion is that you can't do that after a sack to make it 4th and 19. Other plays you can, but after a sack to make it 4th and 19, I'm sorry this was a long tangent, but I cannot do that.
No, you make actually a great point. And I didn't even realize that Campbell did that. And I honestly, part of me just thought it was a long out of bounds break, I guess, because what happened, in which Lions kind of really got screwed, is which we had Lamar wrapped up and he shook out of a sack, got around, got to the sidelines, and then got out of bounds. Had we just sacked him, it would have been game over. Clock would have been running. They would have had to hurry, run a play. We would have just let it happen and it came over. But he got out of bounds. Dan Campbell thought, clock stopped now. Might as well call timeout, get our players, rested. And yeah, Nick, that was not the right move. We should have just let it roll, let our D-line, who had been just destroying the Ravens D-line on that last drive, go to town, try to get Lamar flustered. And if Lamar starts running back 20 yards, takes 2 seconds to run 20 yards, takes another 2 seconds to turn around and run back 20 yards. Next thing you know, he has to throw the ball for a Hail Mary or something. So, I mean, in hindsight, you could talk about it perfect like that. But yeah, I think the timeout wasn't the best decision. And honestly, yeah, Nick, I didn't even realize it. And honestly, yeah, I think it's Dan Campbell's, to blame.
Hopefully he learns from it though. Hopefully this was his kind of wake up call to head coaching and little decisions that you might not think through in tough times. I'm sure he won't do that again in the same situation. I'm sure.
I agree. And the only way to fail is to fail forward. Dan Campbell made a mistake, in my opinion, and hopefully he learns from that. And next week, and like you said, it doesn't continue to happen. And that's awesome. You know what I mean? That's great. You got to learn somehow.
Yeah. So I will say what the coaches did do well is they locked Lamar Jackson down. We made him pass to beat us. He threw for 287 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Only carried the ball 7 times, 58 yards. I believe that was his lowest. The previous 2 games, I want to say he rushed for 100 yards in both of those games. So give me some of your guys' quick thoughts on just locking up a running quarterback like Lamar Jackson. And do you think, we've got it down, or do you think this was just kind of a one-type deal?
Shout out to Julian Okwara. Shout out to Austin Bryant. These are young pass rushers that played great yesterday. When we didn't have the Trey Flowers big money guy, we didn't have Jamie Collins on the field. And shout out to Romeo Okwara too. Both Okwara brothers played excellent. They both did what they do best. And like I said, Austin Bryant, Charles Harris, maybe there's something to be made of the Lions pass rush, the way it was assembled in one offseason. It may be one of the success storylines of the entire season if they keep this up, because our secondary, like I just said, is very bad. And if you give a quarterback who's good, who has receivers or tight ends that's good, time and space to throw the ball around, we're going to lose. They're going to tear us up. Every last good quarterback with a good receiving core that we play this season, the only way we're going to counter it is with an effective pass rush. So it was great to see. I mean, I love it. And hopefully the interior, Alan McNeil and Levi Orzawerki, the rookies, and Nick Williams, and those guys can start providing more of an interior rush to add on to that. And then who knows, you maybe got something special, start blitzing the linebackers, Derek Barnes, Jalen Reese-Maybin. They seem to get downhill a little bit better. We could do something. We could see something good happen from this front seven, particularly the defensive line.
And we saw Anzalone come in get his sack a week after Dan Campbell did nothing but praise him, even after being questioned by the media if he basically meant to praise him, and he doubled down on Anzalone. Collins goes out. All of a sudden, Anzalone doesn't feel like he has to do everything in the entire world. He can focus on his position and not him and Collins' position, knowing that the guy to the right of him isn't trying and or caring, meaning that Anzalone is going to have to do double duty. Now that he doesn't have to do that, he can focus more on his duty, and all of a sudden he gets a sack. Shout out the whole defensive line. Like Julia said, we have 4 sacks against the most elusive quarterback in the NFL. 100% hands down. That is unbelievable. Not only that, but we got hands on Lamar Jackson. It seemed like at least twice, every 4 downs, it seemed like. Now, it's hard to bring him down, and a lot of times we weren't able to bring him down, and he slipped away, and whatever happened. But you got hands on him, and that's great. We played it well. We kept a spy running on him. We saw how the Chiefs played him. They didn't get the win in week 2, but we mimicked that. The NFL is a, what's it called? Copycat league, a see it, do it league. Exactly. And that's what we did. And so that was awesome. Like, we executed perfectly, I thought, on the defensive side. The defensive line came up to play. We were especially, and this is my favorite part. The offense, the defensive line for the Lions were so aggressive in the 4th quarter. When everyone is so tired, everyone was so tired, they came after it. Not only that, but I also want to say, I want to own up to calling the defense, the Lions rush defense, the worst rush defense I've seen, and that being our biggest draw or flaw on our defense. They proved me wrong. I believe Tyson Williams had like 5 carries for 4 yards, and Latavius Murray, I don't even think he got off the bus. I'm pretty sure like their whole running back system got shut down by the Lions, and that was amazing. That was maybe the first time I had seen that since Jim Caldwell. So it was awesome to see that. Shout out defensive line. Shout out Alex Anzalone. The rest of the linebackers started to play a little bit better for sure, but shout out Alex Anzalone getting a sack.
Yeah, if you take away that Lamar Jackson 31-yard run, which, I mean, it's stupid to say little things like that, but if you did, the Ravens would have averaged 4 yards per carry, which is phenomenal for the best rushing offense in the NFL. Nick, like you mentioned, the defensive line especially has been, looking really good. And this Lions team is really interesting. It's like we have little like spurts of talent and little players, doing good things, but it all hasn't gelled together and been, coming out all at once. It's just been little pops and stuff. So I think this is just going to be a part of the process. But all in all, 3 weeks in, what is your guys' overall grade on our 3 new head coaches, Anthony Lynn, Aaron Glenn, and Dan Campbell?
I'll give an overall grade of all 3 a B. I'll give Dan Campbell a B+. I'll give Anthony Lynn a B, even though it should probably be an A if Jared Goff was to just actually do his job. I bet the way Anthony Lynn is scripting games is like better than we actually know of right now. But unfortunately, Goff isn't doing that, and that is part of your coaching job. You have to make sure you script to your quarterback. So I'll stay with B. And I'm giving Aaron Glenn a freaking A. And I know we got freaking let up like 60 points to San Francisco, and Aaron Rodgers had his way with us. But we looked good, and it might be a little recency bias, but I love the way our defense is playing after watching our defense for the last 3 years. The way our defense plays now, I get excited about. I think we have chances to make big plays. Got our first interception last week with Amani O getting it after he got burnt on a big play. So way to go, Aaron Glenn. Shout out for sure. B+ for the coaches.
Oh, yeah. All right. It's kind of how I feel. But before I get to my overall grades, Julius, what are you feeling?
So just to reassure, these are the overall grades for the coaches.
Coaches, 3 weeks.
First 3 games. Okay, so for Dan Campbell, just on his own as a head coach, I give him a B because he has made some rookie coach mistakes. Even though he's not really a rookie coach, he was an intern, but he is a rookie coach. He has made some rookie mistakes that I hope that I think that he's smart enough to clear up. I like the way that he has this team motivated. You didn't get this kind of you didn't have a game like that last year with Patricia or the last 3 years with Patricia, where you saw the energy come up in the second half. You saw, the urgency, and you knew that was coming from the sideline. So he has some stuff to clean up, but I like the first 3 games. I am optimistic about Dan Campbell's prospects as the Detroit head coach. Offensive and defensive coordinator. So for I guess I'll start off with Aaron Glenn because I highly agree with you, Nick. I would give Aaron Glenn an A minus. Because for the first time in 3 years, again, comparing this to the last 3 years under the Patricia regime, our defense has hope. You could see there's youthful hope too. Not old veterans. You know, they didn't sign Trey Flowers to a $90 million deal or give $40 million to Jamie Collins. You know, Alex Anzalone was a low, a mid tier, not really even. We didn't even pay him that much, and he's already playing better than our linebackers from last season. And there's just youth everywhere: defensive line, linebackers, secondary, and when you see that kind of thing you saw against Baltimore, it gives you hope. And I'm gonna go ahead and give Aaron Glenn an A minus because the secondary is what it is. It's going to be hard to beat good quarterbacks through the air. I'm not even going to blame him for that. But I like the defense. And on offense with Anthony Lynn, I think he has a great. He's been drawing up some great plays and have some great game plans. And the only knock I would really give him, and I hope he's listening to this, but we need to start giving DeAndre Swift. He needs to be the focal point of our offense, a la Alvin Kamara in New Orleans, a la Christian McCaffrey in Carolina, and all these other running backs who are deadly in space, in the passing game, and in the running game. We have the offensive line to support it. Give him 15 touches in the first half and 15 in the second half, not 6 in the first half and 15 in the second half. We need to be more consistent, game plan around that. They took TJ Hockenson out the game, and I think it's just that our receivers can't really get open. Honestly, a lot of Khalif Raymond did a pretty decent job. I'm really disappointed so far with Amon-Ra St. Brown. I thought he'd have more of an impact as far as getting open is concerned, and it seems like he's not. Either that or Goff isn't really looking at him. But, I just don't think the receivers are getting open. Quintez Cephas, I don't think he gets open enough, even though he's great at the point of attack and he runs some decent routes. Our receiver core is the worst in the NFL, simply put. And for what it's worth, I think Anthony Lynn knows that. He knows what he has in Jared Goff, who is an accurate quarterback if somebody is open. And he's going to game plan game by game to the offensive strength. And I just hope as the season goes on, he starts to bring DeAndre Swift as the main focal point a little bit more, because I think he's our best offensive player. I would say he's our best offensive player over TJ Hockenson or Frank Ragnow right now as far as impact on the field. So Anthony Lynn, I give him a solid B+ because he's game planned masterfully. I hope he keeps this up because I could see why he had the best rushing attacks everywhere he went before he came to Detroit, because he's a great game planner around his running backs and his offensive line, and we'll see if that can improve. So that would be my grades right there for those three.
And Adam, I know you're about to jump in, but I just want to jump in real quick. I got 2 things real quick. First off, I've been saying the same thing you've been saying, Julius. Like, we need to feed Swift, feed Swift, feed Swift. I got a new theory on this. We need to, put serious 50% on Swift and Jamal Williams until we're about to break into the playoffs, right? Then just an 80-20% heavy dose of Swift, but don't overdose them in years that don't matter for the Lions. And this year's doesn't matter for us. So unfortunately, this year I am okay with 50-50 split. That's just the theory on that. Second, one coach that we're not grading that we should probably throw a grade in, which is a complete A+++, is running back coach, assistant coach, Deuce motherfucking Staley. The best coach. Look, Swift looks great. Every time he touches this ball, he is electric. Jamal Williams, he looks pretty darn good too. When he got that touchdown, man, he was walking around, dude. He was flexing on everyone. His helmet was up. Oh, I was like, let's go, dude. So A+++ for Deuce Staley, the best coach we might have on our team. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like our Jamar Jefferson can come in and have a decent game around the game plan, around Deuce Staley, the offensive line, everything. I think our running game is a great plus. And you mentioned you disagreed about the 50-50 split. I just want 60-40.
Yeah.
So I'm cool with 60-40, 65-35. I just want to see.
Keep his legs fresh till next year when we're starting
right.
out 3-0.
That's a great point, though. That's a great point. And Jamal Williams he's doing great. He's 1A, 1B, perfect.
It's Jamal that. It's
Bro,
Jamal
he is the best, man.
that.
He is
Dude,
quickly becoming a
he
not
does
just
like his anime things.
he's so, bro. Do you see his nerd TikTok? He's like,
Yeah.
man, girls love nerds.
He's like, oh, nerds don't want anything. Psych. Wait for action.
Bro, he's a fun guy.
He's
Definitely a guy that I'd love to meet at like a Lions training camp or something, like more than like, some even like the big time stars like Goff or someone. But yeah, like you were saying, Nick, that 1-2 punch we have going, I like it. I think we should keep the 50-50 split. Like you were saying, we know we got Swift. He is an A+ running back. We hit the nail on the head. Honestly, I think he's looking like the best running back in his class right now. People thought Jonathan Taylor was the one by far, but to start this season, he hasn't done much. He's gotten all the opportunity. Swift has done nothing but break tackles, juke guys out, make open field plays, hop over guys again, and do all sorts of exciting.
J.K. Dobbins ain't hopping over nobody right now either from that.
Neither was Cam Akers. But I will say Antonio Gibson had a sick reception go for touchdown.
And all these guys weren't even the first running back. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire still looks like an 80-year-old man trying to run this ball in the most electric offense there is. Unbelievable.
But back to the quarterbacks, to the coaches real quick. My final grades are just like yours. I think overall as a B, I think Dan Campbell is like a low B+, but just a B+. And then Aaron Glenn and Anthony Lynn I would probably get them both like B's to B+, just because, we're not winning the games. If they were winning the games, I think they would be the A range. But all in all, they've looked good. I think it's just been a talent aspect. I will say, I think what the Lions have been doing and what we're going to continue to do is each week, we're going to have a new wide receiver one. So this week was Khalif Raymond's week. Last week was Cephas. The week before, week one was, I'm pretty sure, Tyrell. So we'll see who next week is. But we're taking on the Bears. It's
wait. Before we get to these, I know we're all geeked to talk about the Bears. I can't let us go without talking. Did we even really break down these referees and this last?
We didn't, yeah.
This, we got to talk about what happened there. Is that something? Here's a theory, I think. So to catch anyone up who wasn't paying attention in the game, there was a delay of game that missed. Adam brought it up a little bit earlier in the show. We didn't really break down into it too much. I want to just put out my idea, which is there's two ideas. Have a shot clock buzzer.
Yes.
That buzzes really loudly when it hits 0. And if they're like, okay, well, what if the play gets snapped and then it buzzes and it freaks people out? Okay, all right. Basketball players can deal with it, but if football players can't deal with it, I'm not going to sit here and try to get you too upset. The second thing we need to do is have a wrist watch band on the NFL referee's arm, all of them. It isn't a watch. It's just a band. So as soon as that hits 0, that band vibrates, just like you're waiting for a
genius.
I see what
you're waiting for it.
You should patent that, Nick. You should patent that.
You're probably right. So this referee doesn't have to look at the clock and then at the snap, which in the game seemed to be like this because they sucked. But they can stare at this ball. They can stare at the ball. While the band buzzes, if that ball isn't snapped, they don't got to look at that clock. They don't even got to look at that fucking clock. All they got to do is feel a goddamn vibrator on their wherever they want to put it. I'll keep this clean. But all you have is this vibration on your hand when the clock hits 0. So you're staring at this ball, and there's one judge dedicated to staring at this ball pre-snap. And if it's not hiked before it buzzes, it's a false start. It's as easy as that. It is literally as easy as that.
It's just one of those things that was, how Detroit Lions only the Lions get this call. I don't understand. It will always be Detroit versus the refs. We've seen this a million times before, but for a delay of game to end on a game-winning field goal, this was a little newish. We can add this one into the book, but yeah, it wasn't like this was like clock hit 0, then snap. This was clock hit 0, moment of silence, awkward silence,
Took a nap,
then snap. And it was the
Julius put out a tweet that said the exact amount of time. What was it?
It was 2.310 tenths of a second. 2.3 seconds.
That's
which is an eternity
That's
for a delay of game call. Literally.
You never see a basketball player put the shot up 2.5 seconds after the shot clock. And they'll be like, no, it was,
that was the official play clock because a lot of people were saying, oh, the TV clock and the official clock is different. That was 2.3 seconds, the official play clock, the one the refs are supposed to be looking at. 2.3 seconds of 0 was in their face, and they let the Ravens snap the ball. And that's why I put out that tweet, because that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable.
We need to find these referees.
We lost because of that, though.
Have you ever been to your job
and
fucked up royally so bad that it resulted in one of your freaking clients losing and not get fired for that, not get fined for that, not get suspended for that? The NFL needs to take responsibility. And it's stupid that they don't. The MLB baseball, which doesn't do anything, they find their umps when they have bad calls. Dude, get with the program, man. It is. And then on that that same play, that's an intentional grounding. There was no receiver. He threw it out of bounds to no receiver. Guaranteed Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford for the Lions get flagged for intentional grounding there. Guarantee my life on it. Guarantee it.
Yeah, it
is stupid. And this is week after week.
And it's just little things that we have the technology, like you said, Nick, with these bans, why do refs have to look back and forth at a play clock? Why can't they have either a buzzer, something that even flashes? It doesn't even, you can look at something or whatever, but you can't tell me there isn't a device that can be created that can increase the, penalty correction rate.
PF Chang's has figured this out. If PF Chang's can do it with their wait time buzzer, I'm sure the NFL can do it. I'm sure of it.
It's true, man. And then honestly, to even go back on the Lions and how it ended, in which the Lions, I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but we were a perfect 11 for 11 in the red zone. It had been the NFL best up until we decided to, kind of slow it down and kick a field goal, which this was an interesting decision because obviously we were trying to eat as much clock as we can and kick a game-winning field goal. But we have some dude off the street. I don't even know our kicker's name. I didn't even realize it wasn't Siebert. It was Santoso, some guy I had vaguely heard of in the past. But all in all, they showed a clip of him just missing 30 after 40 after 50.
Yeah, they did.
20-yard practice field goal. And oh my gosh, everyone was so just concerned and worried. And I think Dan Campbell knew that. And on that 3rd and 9, I honestly wouldn't be surprised we passed the ball if Matt Prater's back there. But since he's not, we couldn't afford to let Jared Goff take a sack because he would have needed to take a sack to keep the clock rolling and not throw it out of bounds. And if he just takes an 8-yard loss of a sack, it becomes a 30-ish yard field goal to a 40-yard field goal, which is still a chip shot to an excellent kicker. But no, we have Santoso, a very, shaky dude who, granted, he did make the kick, but I think Campbell and Lynn both knew that they could not afford to have a big loss and knew they had to keep the clock rolling and went with the run to Jamal Williams that ended up gaining nothing. So
I also didn't know who Santos was or whoever it was.
Yeah.
But when I saw his mustache before the game-winning kick, it wasn't a doubt in my mind we were missing that. He was making it clean. Screw Siebert. Sorry you got COVID, bud, but you're out the door. Homeboy just won his spot in my heart with the mustache and go-ahead field goal that didn't end up being a game winner that should have been. So way to go, Santos. I'm probably not even saying your name right, but great money.
But add this to the list of referee just complete botched, missed calls against us, whatever you want. We, as a Lions fan, we get it all. We embrace it. We hate it. But the Bears, this is going to be a fun one, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get our first win. Call it now. We're going to sack Justin Fields. The J names confuse me. Nick Foles or Andy Dalton. One of those guys, like 5 times. I'm calling it. We're going to take a step up above Lamar Jackson's 4 sacks and get it to 5. But all in all, what do you guys think we need to do to win this game? Nick, let's start with you first. Give me the keys. How do we win?
Score more than the Bears. That's step 1. Once you've accomplished that, let's go down to the details. First off, Justin Fields was sacked 9 times. I've seen that before. If we all remember, the Vikings once sacked Matthew Stafford 9 times, and it was a sad game. You felt bad for the dude. Pretty sure that's when he hurt his back originally in like 2017 or 18, whatever it was. So, first step is we need to keep eating. I just said it earlier today that our defensive line ate. They were hungry, and it was awesome. We need to continue that momentum against Chicago. That's the biggest thing for defense. Honestly, if we can get after Justin Fields, I mean, you can put Grandma in secondary, and she's making some picks because Justin Fields doesn't know what's going on, and we can get to him and get into his game's not so slow for him anymore, basically. So let's get to him right there. But that's the biggest key for defense. For offense, which is our biggest weakness, in my opinion, and the Bears' biggest top. You know what I mean? Take it off, Adam. Let's go. Oh, wait. We have to get stuff going, dude. Like our run game has to be solid, like it has been. But Jared Goff has to be confident, and he's not going to have a lot of time. Mac will be coming down our throat. I believe Robert Quinn. I mean, I can't remember who's on the Akeem Hicks, I think, is still there. I don't remember who's on the Bears defense, but they're good. They're good. They got toasted by Stafford, but that's all right because that's Stafford. We knew he was going to do that. They tore up Burrow. They looked pretty good on defense yesterday against Fields. I mean, the Bears were in the game the whole time until the last drive, last fourth quarter, or the fourth quarter. So we just got to score, dude. I know it sounds super simple, but we just need to actually trust in Goff, and Goff needs to trust in Goff. Other than that, keep having great play calls from Anthony Lynn. Keep pressure on Justin Fields. Keep having a great play call from Aaron Glenn on the defensive side.
Yeah, I just want Jared Goff. I want either Campbell or Anthony Lynn to say, just don't be afraid. Let it rip, man. No one's coming out here to take your job. You are not losing your job. You can throw 5 interceptions, and the media might be on you, but we won't, and we're your coaches. So you're here for the rest of the season. Go out. Let's see what you got. And we know you can throw checkdowns, but we want to see more. So Jared Goff, I like agreeing with what you said, Nick. I think he is going to be one of the keys, as always. I think he's always going to be a key to the game. If he can play well, I think that just gives us a step ahead already, just because we've seen us compete in games where he throws a pick 6. He doesn't throw a passing touchdown. He fumbles the ball or whatever. So all in all, Jared Goff's going to be the biggest key for me. Next, I think, is going to be stopping the rush and Khalil Mack. I don't know if Khalil Mack will play, honestly. He did go out of the Browns game yesterday with an injury, did not come back. So that would be kind of nice if we didn't have to go up against Khalil Mack.
I didn't know that. That would be very nice.
Honestly, I kind of want him to play just so we could see Panay versus Khalil Mack, which would be such a beautiful test for him. And going back to Panay, I know this last game, but he had Calais Campbell on him, who has been an all-pro, Pro Bowl stud throughout his career, a sack master, and man, oh man, Calais could do nothing against Panay. Panay handled him the entire game and looked phenomenal. So honestly, quick tangent about Panay, I think this dude is just a freak of nature. And I honestly believe when he gets moved back to right tackle, he will be not as good as he is at left tackle, but he'll be every bit as good as, your everyday starting right tackle. So definitely confident Panay. But back to the Bears game. Final key is stopping, if Justin Fields is the quarterback, Fields. Just kind of contain him, keep him rattled, keep him, keep the Lions in his head. So all in all, I want to start with a good start against the Bears and Justin Fields, era against us. It's going to be Goff's first game against the Bears as a Lion and Fields' first game as a Bear versus the Lions. So a fun, I wouldn't say tradition, but I don't know, I'm looking for battle ahead. I don't even know what I'm saying, but Julius, give me some of your keys.
Well, there's two things the Lions got to do to win against the Bears. One, they got to be able to exploit the Bears' weak offensive line. Mm-hmm. The Ravens got one of the top 10, top 15 offensive lines in football. There was no pushover. So that's why it was even more impressive what the Lions' defensive line did, which was unexpected. Now we're going to a place where they have a bottom 5 offensive line in literally every metric. And they have a rookie quarterback more than likely that's going to be starting, who isn't accustomed to this type of pressures. And you saw that in the last game against Cleveland. They totally took advantage of that fact. And that's what the Lions' key of the game for defense needs to be if they want to win. They have to get pressure and they have to stop the run with David Montgomery if he's even playing. But I think that's doable. The other thing they need to do is on defense. Is on offense is run the ball effectively, which they've shown they can do in the last few games against these Super Bowl contenders we speak of. That's been one of the only things offensively that has clicked is our run game with DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. The Bears have a bottom third defense, run defense in the NFL right now. A lot of people are giving their defense praise. They do have a good pass rush and they do have a good secondary. So we can't. I don't even think the game is going to be in the hand. It shouldn't be won by the hands of Jared Goff. I think it should be won on the ground. But it's a very winnable game because the two things that we need we really need to do against the Chicago Bears, we have shown capable of doing it against way better teams. So I mean, as far as Jared Goff and our receivers, it is what it is. If hopefully they can get open that way that we have a more balanced attack because that's important. Or if not, they're just going to put 8-9 in the box and just dare Jared Goff to throw it. In which case he should, just like you mentioned, Nick. He or Adam, he doesn't need to be scared to stretch the field. If he think he want to give Quintez Cephas a shot, give T.J. Hockenson a shot, do it. And it'll only help out the run game, which we need to excel in this game. But overall, in my pregame analysis, I think the Lions have a good shot in Chicago, a very good shot.
I agree. And we've already started to hear, the Bears fans come up with their scapegoats, we're going to lose this game. We want you guys to beat us to get, the whole regime fired and all this. And we want Fields to be the starter if, Andy Dalton comes out. And so we'll hear all this nonsense when the Lions come out and just steamroll the Bears in Soldier Field and get Dan Campbell's first win would be an excellent first victory for him in division win, in which would start off 1-1 in division with the Vikings up next. Looking good, right foot. But Nick,
coming off that loss, that'd be a huge win.
Yeah. And so I will say the sacks, man, we can get to whoever's quarterbacking back there because the Bears allowed 15 sacks over 3 games. That's 5 each game. So Lions, I called it 5 this game. That's what I'm hoping for. Nick, got any comments?
Go Lions.
Go Lions. Julius?
Are we doing score predictions first?
Are we doing score predictions?
Yeah, getting ready to wrap it up here. But let's get a little score prediction here. Who wants to start first?
I'll start first since I think I was the closest to last week's prediction. I think I predicted the Ravens to win a close game, 30-27. Then just subtract 15 points from each team, and I was right. But anyways, my score prediction, like I just said, I give the Lions a real good shot in Soldier Field. I'm not really scared this week. Like when I was thinking about the Ravens, I was scared thinking of Lamar Jackson. When I was thinking about the Packers, I was scared thinking about Aaron Rodgers and the 49ers pretty much the entire team.
Andy Dalton.
I know, right? I'm not really afraid based off what I saw last week with Justin Fields, who's likely going to start. Their offensive line the whole season so far has just been atrocious. And I just feel like that gives our defense a shot not to get killed, like we would have got from Aaron Rodgers, should have got from Lamar Jackson if it wasn't for Hollywood Brown. I don't feel that fear with this team. I feel like it's something the Lions can manage defensively. Offensively, we should do just enough to win. I'm going to go with Lions 23, Bears 10.
I like it. 2-score game. Nick, what do you got?
If the Lions don't win this game,
it's over.
it's pretty close. Yes, you are right on that. If the Lions don't win this game, there is a sneaky possibility we go 0-17. The only other game that I think we may have a shot, and I would have said Atlanta until they beat the Giants, who I think could beat us, will be at home against Chicago on Thanksgiving. Or I think it's on Thanksgiving. So, with that being said, I don't want us to go 0-17. I will be very sad if that happens. I'm going to predict a victory. I'm going to predict the Lions to win this game. 19-16 Lions.
Yeah, Nick, you're kind of right on this. The Bears seem like our two easiest games right now. I'll throw the Falcons in there, but it is in Atlanta. It's week 15 or 16. No, 15. So ways away. But the games against the Bengals look pretty good after beating the Steelers. The game against the Broncos are 3-0. So those were two ones that we thought we could easily win. Are still, of course, winnable games, but seem a little bit harder than they might be. So for me, this Bears game, I think we're going to come stomping. I think the Bears fans, organization, everyone's flustered. They don't know what's going on. They thought Justin Fields was going to be the Messiah and throw for 300 yards and rush for 100 and lead them to victory against the Browns, but it was an utter disaster of 57 total offensive yards. One of a historic record for NFL teams. But I think the Lions are going to capitalize on this and ride the momentum of not just a tough loss, but a beat-up Bears team. And I think we're going to come in pissed off more than the Bears, who got their butts whooped. And I think we're going to win 27-13, Lions victory. And honestly, before we wrap up this show, I have one more thing to talk about. And it's the Lions victory fight song. Nick, you're the one that brought this up. This, I will say the fight song, it's interesting. I don't know if you want to call it fight song, because it's only played during touchdowns. So touchdown song, whatever. But the forward down the field is what we're talking about. And Nick brought up the question, do you think that's outdated and we should get something new, something, more for this generation? And a lot of fans came at you and said, no, you're crazy. We love this. And some fans were like, yes, please get this. We need something else. Spice it up. So now myself, I kind of agree. I like the forward down the field. I think they should keep it. But, it should be only for the Thanksgiving Day game or something like that, where, they only play it rarely or once in a while, or maybe just,
It's our victory song.
Yes.
It should be played after a victory, not after every touchdown. Forward down the field. What the hell? This is a goddamn high school marching band shit show. And people are like, well, change the Michigan and Michigan State one while you're at it. And it's like, no. Colleges literally make you learn that song if you're going to go to that school. No Detroit Lion knows that song if you're under the age of 40. You absolutely time to get a new one. The Packers have a dope one. Theirs is I don't want to work. I just want to bang on this drum all day. And it would be badass if I could just be dancing around singing that after every Lions touchdown. But I get to dance around and go, forward down the field. Like, no team, we will not yield. Like, who the fuck even says that? They're saying words from Ben Franklin era. Get that shit out of here. My computer's about to die, so I'm not even going to be on this closeout. I want to make sure I get that out of there. That song blows. Get a new one. Let's go.
Julius.
Oh man, real quick. I don't like the song either. It's corny. I mean, Detroit is known for its musical talents, Motown, techno, rap. We can get, something better than this. I agree with you, Nick. It's a horrendous sounding song. I mean, it just at least the Michigan and Michigan State fight songs, they're catchy. Hell, this is just. It sounds like like from a late 1980s car dealership commercial, like just thrown together on it. Because I don't know, man. We need a new one. We need a new one. I agree.
Yeah, and like you guys said, with the amount of like talented artists and musicians that Detroit and honestly like Michigan State has is incredible. Like, why mesh something together? Mesh like the Detroit City, some Kid Rock anthem, some Aretha Franklin. I don't even know. Mixed with Eminem, something besides the corny forward down the field. It was fun and cool when I was a kid, but growing up as an adult, I think a lot of us dads are kind of just like, why am I Why am I doing this? This is so cheesy.
When Armchair, I don't even know his name, but on Twitter, the big Lions do,
Mike
Armchair Bomb. When he agrees, it's time you like do something. You know what I mean? Like it's time to move on.
But all in all, I think we'll do it for our show today. Possibly, there could be a little preview of the Bears game right before we do kickoff on Sunday. So if we do end up doing with that, we'll have a tweet and announcement going forward with that. So keep your eyes peeled. As always, check us out on Twitter at Honolulu Blues _. Check us out individually at Nick Faber NFL, Julius at The Fifth Top, and myself at Everyday FFB. And there goes Nick, and go Lions.
Go Lions.